A lot of you have been asking for the bow making video. Sorry it took me so long to get it to you because I know that you probably need it because you're decorating right now. The big bows that I use for tree toppers and at the end of the stairway, those are bows that really finish your decorating, but they're not easy to find. I don't think I've ever seen them on sale pre-made in the big size, which means you have to pay someone to do it for you, which can be expensive, especially if you want to do a lot of them. But good news is here. This makes it really easy. This is the Easy Bow Maker. I stumbled across it years ago. I've used it ever since. This is the deluxe. It only means deluxe because it has this. I never use this, so don't worry about that. Get whatever Easy Bow Maker you can. It'll be fine. Super easy, super simple, super affordable, available a million different places. Google it. Now, I do want to let you know that there are a lot of different tools out there to make bows with. Most of them look really complicated to me. I look at that and go, oh my gosh, that is like twister for my fingers. I don't even know how to do that. This is super simple, super easy. So you're going to need an Easy Bow Maker. You're also going to need wire-edged ribbon. I just got this new ribbon out to show you that you're going to need a full roll for a big bow, and you're going to need a full roll, I can't talk, which is usually 10 yards long. Wired meaning it will keep its shape. It has to be wired or it doesn't make a bow. Really important. Oh, by the way, the really, really affordable ribbon with wire doesn't hold its shape well either. So invest in some good ribbon. It makes a much better bow. You're also going to need wire cutters and of course wire and the scissors to cut the ribbon. All of that ready to go. You're ready to make a bow. Here we have the Easy Bow Maker. This is the deluxe once again, so it has the spool holder. This is made for you to put the ribbon on. I don't really do that. I just didn't learn that way. I put the wire and the ribbon here. And then this is if you want to put a topper on the bow. I don't normally do that because I'm making big tree topper bows. So first I take my floral wire, get a nice large piece. I would rather have too much length than not enough on the wire. Gonna cut it with the wire cutters, come back here. And then you're just gonna take the piece of wire. By the way, I periodically have to kind of push those back in because when you make the bows, they kind of come out a little. You take the floral wire, put it in between, up and down. Very, very simple. In between, up and down. And you're doing that because you don't want it side to side because that's where you're going to be putting your ribbon. So that would be in the way. Then you take your ribbon, and I like to use a 10-foot ribbon because then it measures itself. If you want to do a big bow, a 10-yard ribbon, I think I just said 10 feet, a 10-yard ribbon will automatically make the perfect size bow and you don't have to measure. So I'm going to take the edge. By the way, don't forget it has to be wired. And the original edge, I'm going to go facing down. The reason I'm going to do that is because then all my loops are facing out. So I'm going to bring this out to 8 inches and give it a little twist in between. Super easy, right? And then I'm going to bring this loop out to 8 inches and I'm going to come back and do a half twist. Push it down, hold it with your fingers. This side, 8 inches, half twist, hold it down. I got that one a little bit long. Hold it with your fingers. Do you see how this is doing? I'm just going to keep doing this back and forth until I get all the ribbon used. I don't have to measure because I have a 10-yard ribbon. One of the things that you need to make sure that you do is to continue to measure as you go up. Otherwise, you will instinctively start making your loops a little shorter as you get higher. All right, I'm about halfway there. I'm just going to continue all the way up. It's important to keep holding it down with these two fingers as you're going through. Otherwise, it will become quite a mess. I'm getting toward the end, so I got rid of the spool. So now I have as much of the ribbon done as I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this as a tail because that's a nice little tail. This is the tape that held it to the spool, so I'll get rid of that. Now what I'm going to do, and I'll turn this towards you so you can see, is I'm going to push it down as much as I can, gather it up in both hands, and I'm bringing the wire with it. Very, very important to bring the wire with it. Bow maker goes away. I'm going to crunch this down as compact as possible. I think I can get that a little better. Twist it around a number of times. And now I'm ready to start forming my bow. So now I have this bow that needs to be formed. I'm going to hold the center in one hand. I have an end here and an end here. I'm going to kind of bring those ends together because that needs to be the bottom of the bow. And then I am going to start zhuzhing. Now this is where you want to take a loop and kind of twist and open. Sometimes you might do it with two hands, sometimes with one hand. As you're going along, you loop at a different angle. So each time you open one, you want them to be a different angle. One goes north-south, one goes east-west. You get the idea. Just so when they're all together, they make a really pretty bow. One of the things you have to do too is kind of open the bottom of them like this. That'll make them stand up better. And zhuzh. I always like ribbon because I feel like the bow almost makes a bouquet in a way. Reminds me of a bouquet. Just don't be afraid. Get in there, really use your hand to give it some shape. If I wanted a more compact bow, if I wanted more loops, I could have just made the loops a little smaller. This is almost as big a bow as you can make, I think, generally speaking, on the bow maker, because I was going 8 inches and a little generous on that, on each side. Okay, so I got it about half done. There's the done side. There's the not done side. And I'll take this. And again, I'm kind of going, just making sure everything is at a different angle. Then they kind of support each other. So I would do a little more zhuzhing, but you get the idea. This is a beautiful, beautiful bow. And the great thing about this is once you have the easy bow maker and you figure out how to do it, it's really pretty simple to make your own bows. Then you can shop for ribbon when it's on sale, as it always is around the holidays, and you can make beautiful big bows to put on furniture, to put on the end of a stair, to put on the front of a bookcase. You can use them instead of wreaths indoors in a lot of places. You can use them obviously as tree toppers. You get the idea. I'm doing this to show you that I obviously am not a professional bow maker. And if you are, I'm sure you're watching this video going, that's pretty basic on the concept. It is. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to know what you're doing. A few simple tools, a little bit of practice, and this is the kind of bow that you're going to be able to make. Merry Christmas.